Good Lord, a lady who tidies her thread. Hello, Dawn.
Hi, Jenny.
Really, really nice that you'll be able to come to Just Hands On and do something for us. Now, what the viewers don't know is Dawn and I, not that long ago, were together at a quilt show. And I related to Dawn a little tale, which I'm going to share with you. Some months ago, might even been years ago, I was judging at some show. And Dawn was there too. And a judge and I are sitting in the sort of the restroom comparing notes and chatting about life. And Dawn whizzes in and she says, "Do you know what? Last week I did a class and I had a student who had the temerity to put her arm up and say, 'I don't know what IMA is.' And she roared off. And the other tutor and I looked at each other and we thought, what's she going on about? What is IMA?
No.
I know.
No.
But of course, as we all know now, it is Invisible Machine Appliqué. And this woman has written not one, but 2 books on it. Because this one is the next one. This is Invisible Appliqué, Invisible Machine Appliqué and Beyond. Tell me, how on earth did you get into all this?
That's a good question. I was living and teaching in Belgium, and there was no history of quilt making there at all. And when I came on the scene in the late 80s and was doing my patchwork and quilting, students wanted to learn. And I was very happy to teach them. So I started teaching in my home, and we did the basic piecing and everything. But what I waited for was the day when I could teach them hand applique. Unfortunately, when we got to hand applique, they generally put their thumbs down and said, "We don't want to do that. We piece on the machine. You showed us to quilt on the machine. Why can't we applique on the machine?"
Why?
Well,
Why did you want to teach them hand applique?
Because I love it. I just adore hand applique. It's fun, it's tactile, it's portable. It's just one of my little lunacies, one of many little lunacies.
Right.
So I showed them satin stitch. They weren't as happy with it. They wanted edges turned under. They didn't want bonding web, but they wanted it to look like my applique on the machine.
Right.
So I just started playing around with threads, with different stitches, and this came up. Over the years it developed on how the edges were turned over, but I really was able to turn out a pretty good applique that looked hand done, felt hand done, and was easy to do on any machine.
And yet done on
the machine.
Which is, of course, the winner. Now, I happen to know that this woman also has a rather nice quilt that I personally like because I'm one of these strange people that don't eat meat. And this is her vegetarian chicken.
Sorry.
Go on. Now, why is it a vegetarian chicken quilt? Go on, you tell me.
Again, I was working on a very serious quilt. I was getting a little too precious about myself, and I said, "Dawn, stop this. You need to have some fun." And like everyone else, I collect fabrics, and I had a collection of courgettes and celery and leeks and cabbages, and I thought, what am I ever going to do with these fabrics? And a simple shape came to mind, and the simple shape got wings, and then it got legs, and then it got beaks, and they became chickens. And as I was making them, I got to know them quite well, and they became friends of mine. And I decided they were going to be chickens, and they could be the meat-free option, vegetarian chickens. Unfortunately, there is one naughty one in there who isn't actually a vegetable. He's a fruit. But, you know, I don't like to call people names. He's a pineapple. And it was just fun to make. And that's what we need to remember in quilting, isn't it?
A bit of fun.
Lots of fun.
Good laugh. And various other things that this very talented lady has done. We've got a pattern, the snuggle quilt. Now go on, why is it a snuggle quilt?
Again, it's back from the Belgian days where students wanted to do quilts that had a lot of fabrics in them, but they didn't have a big stash of fabrics to work from. So I came up with a class where 10 ladies came. They each brought 4 long quarters of 4 different reds and 4 long quarters of 4 different greens. We cut quarter square triangles, we traded them, and then we could make a quilt that had a variety of interesting fabrics in it. I can't be everywhere to teach every class, and people were constantly asking me for the pattern, so I wrote it as a pattern. I then made it up as an autumnal quilt, the tablecloth on the table here today.
This is super. And you've got leaves and things in this.
Yeah, we changed the holly leaves into oak leaves.
Yep.
And then even to take it one step further, look how versatile this pattern is. Jenny, if you give me a hand.
Oh, fantastic.
Right? It becomes a seaside summer quilt. I can't say that, seaside summer quilt, by using blue fabric, sand.
So what are you going to have
border.
here?
I have seashells. I have crabs.
So
I have little tails.
She sells seashells beside the seashore.
Easy for you to say. So that's another variation. Any groupings of fabrics can be used on this quilt. It's a basic quilt to make because we sew the blocks first and we cut them to size afterwards. So lots of fun to make, and you'll enjoy making it, I guarantee you.
So there you are, you see. You could come along and do Dawn's snuggle quilt. You could do her very nice vegetarian cushion. You could learn how to do IMA, And she has the most excellent, and I take my hat off to her, advice about the sewing machine needle and indeed thread. I think you and this you have decided to put together as a book, have you not?
Yes.
Tell me, because
Yes.
you mentioned it at Malvern. You went on about that. It's a small book, so big.
Because it's called a pocket tutor.
Right.
And haven't you had students say to you after a class, I wish I could just take you home with me,
Yes.
Jenny, because then I know I'd get it right?
Not many.
Well, I would.
Oh.
There you go. It's a pocket tutor. The idea is that the teacher goes home with you. It's going to be a little bit smaller than the DVD, about this big. It'll be hard covered, rounded edges with a nice purple leather on the cover, a little elastic band around it. When you open it, it'll have a spiral binding so that the nice heavy coated pages will lay flat, and it'll be a bit like an address book. It'll have tabs on it: threads, needles, waddings, machines, facts, and formulas. And it's meant to be a quick and easy reference guide. So when you're at a show and you say, oh, I want to buy this wonderful thread, but what needle do I use with it? You go in your pocket, you check under there, and it will tell you. The right-hand side will have pictures, illustrations for quick, easy recognition. The left-hand side will be for the needle and thread nerds like me who want to know how it was grown, how it was made. And hopefully it'll be the type of thing that every quilter needs in their sewing box, and it'll answer all those niggly little questions that you have. Should be out in June, beginning of June.
And she's going to give me a signed copy, of course. So there you are, Dawn Cameron Dick.
Thank you.